Now if we drop back a little bit, what we'll do is we'll do the same thing. Let's go, I'll go cross court, you go down low, but we got to make the ball bounce in the service boxes. And we can hit over top of these top 10 because we've already worked the open face racket. If it's low in our strike zone, we could play an open face here. So again, we're working on accelerating and decelerating to the ball. And we're working on controlling the spin of the ball, controlling most of all the speed of the ball. What I'm noticing in Allison right now is, Allison, I'd like to see a little bit bigger finish, like exaggerate your finish a bit. Yes, without speeding up the ball. So exaggerate the finish. Oh. So you go cross court. Here you go, cross court. Exaggerate your finish. There you go. Very nice. Oh, coach. Here we go. Here we go. Good. So exaggerate that finish. Here we go. And then we could just go cross court to cross court. Good, excellent. You can start to notice in a player where they're actually, what's the strike zone they like. Okay, so, and we could go back forehand to forehand. Let's talk a little bit about your strike zone off to the side. Okay, so let's put some numbers to it so we can devise a plan off of something that's framed. Okay, from the ground to your knee is 1, strike zone 1. From your knee to your shoulder is 2. That's a big zone. Then above your shoulder is 3. Okay, so 2 is 2 or 3 or 1. Which one's the ideal? What do you think? 2. Okay, but there's 2 parts of 2. There's a lower 2 and an upper 2, right? Lower 2 between the knee and the hip, and an upper 2 between the hip and the shoulder. Now, we're a little bit older, so we're kind of got old school grips, right? Well, they're coming back, they're making it back. But I'm more of between Eastern and semi-Western, so sort of a hybrid grip, okay? And you're about the same as well, right? Because we kind of grew up hitting Eastern forehands, but a lot of the kids now they're hitting, like Pierce at 8, our son, he's more like down here, semi-Western. So his strike zone is probably going to be where? More actually upper. Look at the face. I mean, that's lower too. The face is a little bit more closed, severe. So he may like it here. He may like it here, but I'm guessing because of the angle of the racket face, maybe upper 2 or maybe right in the middle. So for the other grips though, like Eastern, hybrid, maybe we like them in lower 2. But I'm asking you personally, and this is something as players you're going to want to, you need to decide this for yourself. You know, what is your optimal strike zone? Okay, what's yours, Allison? The lower 2, so right here. So as we, let's do a challenge where we're going to rally a little bit more from the baseline, okay? And we're going to set up a cone, and the goal is to actually hit the cone. You got to hit the cone that I have on my side in the air before I strike your cone. And we'll play for 10 jumping jacks. How's that? So let's set up the cones. And your goal here, your purpose, okay, every challenge has got to have a purpose, is to try to, it doesn't matter, I don't really care much about how you move to get it right now, but get in position and receive the ball in the lower 2. The one that your strike zone. Whether you have to take it early, drop back, whatever you want to do. Ready? And go. Ooh, that was high 2. There's a low 2. Yeah. There's a low 2. Good. because of Allison, her height, she may want to stand in a little bit, take it a little bit earlier. She doesn't want it to get up too high in her strike zone. Like that. So what I can notice as a coach here is, how is she moving? What is she doing to move in position to catch it in her, to catch it into her strike zone? Exaggerate the finish. Oh, you got me. Oh, that was your chance. I know the cone was a little bit distracting. So we could do smaller cones, Allison, too. That would be an option. Are those cones okay as far as the height? They're not too distracting, are they? All right, here we go. So you could do small cones as well. Uh-oh. Get there. There you go. Oh, good strike zone there. Get there. We'll watch that side ball. But Allison, what was really good about the rally? Most of it was in your strike zone. How did that make you feel? Did it make you feel confident, or so were you able to go after your target? That is a key point. Come over to your side. A key point would be, if you are hitting more balls in your strike zone, then you're going to feel more confident to hit your target. Okay? And I was quiet a little bit, which is hard to do sometimes. I'm getting better. When I quieted down, we found this rhythm. So this is a great challenge to allow your players to kind of get into the groove, feel the ground stroke. But as I said, only 30% of the points they play in match play is going to look like that. It's going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 70% are going to end serve +1, return +1, somewhere in there, 0 to 4 shots. So we spent a little bit of time there. You feel the groove. You feel warmed up now. So we've gone through this nice progression. Okay. Now I could start out the session with us just going back and forth, a very open environment. Okay. All right. My friend Ann Pankhurst used this analogy. It was a great analogy. She said, would the player have, it's like an hourglass. You start out open, and then you tailor the lesson in, and then you open it back up. And so we could start out just going from the baseline. But personally, it depends on the level of the player, obviously. Someone that's your level, we could go out. We could actually be successful rallying back and forth from the baseline just starting out, because we play a lot of tennis. We're on the court a lot. We've played for many, many years. But that's not so much the case with most individuals, okay? So you just have, as a coach, I have to evaluate where you are as a player. And as a player, you need to evaluate that self with you. If you're going out hitting with another player, you need to evaluate, well, we should probably, do you start out with players rallying from the baseline? You had good training, though.
Yeah.
You start out where?
We start out the net.
Yeah, you start out the net because you had good training growing up.
Yeah.
So that's the key. So start out at the net, a little open face, a little volley. And did you feel more comfortable when we did it that way?
Yeah.
Now we could, like I said, we could rally a little bit, but not very long. A few minutes, and then I'll pull you in, and then we would go through this progression again.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I feel like I warmed up faster.
You warmed up faster.
Yeah.
That's the key, because we got to get into the serve +1 and the return +1, which is the meat of the session, because that's where the meat of the points are played.